Every gardener has those moments. Standing in the garden wondering why your seedlings are struggling, your watering routine feels overwhelming, or pests seem to have declared war on your precious plants. The truth is, some of the most effective gardening solutions aren't found in expensive tools or complicated techniques, but in simple household items and clever tricks that experienced gardeners have discovered through years of trial and error. Transform kitchen scraps into perfect seed starters. Your breakfast routine just became part of your gardening arsenal. Those eggshells you typically toss in the trash are actually perfect biodegradable seed starting containers. The calcium-rich shells provide gentle nutrients as they decompose, while their natural shape creates ideal individual growing spaces for seeds. Simply crack the top third off each shell, rinse gently, poke a small drainage hole in the bottom with a needle, and fill with seed starting mix. When your seedlings are ready for transplanting, plant the entire shell directly into the ground. It will naturally break down and feed your plants. This method works exceptionally well for herbs, lettuce, and small flowers, giving you a zero-waste solution that costs absolutely nothing. Master moisture control with the sponge method. Inconsistent watering kills more plants than almost any other factor, but a simple kitchen sponge can revolutionize your container gardening success. Place a clean, damp sponge at the bottom of your pots before adding soil and plants. This ingenious reservoir system slowly releases moisture when the soil begins to dry out, while simultaneously preventing that dreaded soggy bottom that leads to root rot. The sponge acts as a buffer, absorbing excess water during heavy watering sessions and gradually releasing it during dry spells. This technique is particularly valuable for vacation watering, hanging baskets, and plants that prefer consistent moisture levels like ferns and peace lilies. Preserve your herb harvest with olive oil ice cubes. Fresh herbs have a frustratingly short window of peak flavor, but freezing them in olive oil creates convenient flavor bombs that last for months. Chop your surplus basil, oregano, thyme, or rosemary, and pack them into ice cube trays, then cover with good quality olive oil before freezing. Each cube becomes a pre-portioned seasoning packet perfect for sautéing vegetables, starting soups, or adding instant flavor to roasted dishes. The oil prevents freezer burn while preserving the herb's essential oils and vibrant taste. Unlike dried herbs that lose potency over time, these frozen cubes maintain their flavor intensity and actually improve many dishes with their concentrated herbaceous punch. Eliminate seedling damping off with cinnamon power. Damping off disease devastates seedling trays faster than you can say germination. But your spice rack holds the solution. Ground cinnamon acts as a natural antifungal agent that prevents the soil-borne fungi responsible for killing young seedlings. Lightly dust the soil surface after sowing seeds, or sprinkle it around existing seedlings showing signs of stress. The cinnamon creates an inhospitable environment for harmful fungi while being completely safe for your plants and beneficial soil organisms. This technique works particularly well in humid conditions or when you're starting seeds indoors where air circulation might be limited. Create natural pest barriers with coffee grounds. Your morning coffee ritual generates one of the most effective slug and snail deterrents available. Used coffee grounds create a rough, acidic barrier that these soft-bodied pests absolutely refuse to cross. Spread a ring of grounds around vulnerable plants like hostas, lettuce, and young seedlings, refreshing the barrier after heavy rains. The caffeine content actually acts as a mild toxin to slugs and snails, while simultaneously adding organic matter to your soil as the grounds decompose. Many coffee shops gladly give away their used grounds, making this an economical solution that also reduces waste. Double protection with crushed eggshell barriers. While coffee grounds handle slugs, crushed eggshells create an even more formidable obstacle course for snails and other crawling pests. The sharp edges of broken shells are uncomfortable for soft-bodied creatures to navigate, effectively protecting your plants without using chemical pesticides. Rinse and dry your eggshells, then crush them into irregular pieces about the size of peppercorns. Create a protective ring around individual plants or scatter them throughout garden beds. As the shells break down, they release valuable calcium into the soil, particularly benefiting tomatoes, peppers, and other plants prone to blossom end rot. Emergency plant support with zip ties. Garden stakes and trellises inevitably fail at the worst possible moments. But zip ties provide instant, adjustable plant support that withstands weather and growth spurts. Keep various sizes in your garden toolkit for securing drooping branches, attaching vines to supports, or creating temporary trellises from bamboo stakes. Unlike wire or string, zip ties won't cut into plant stems as they grow, and their adjustable nature means you can modify support systems as plants develop. They're particularly valuable for securing tall plants before storms, or quickly addressing unexpected growth that outpaces your original support plans. DIY watering solutions from milk jugs. Expensive watering systems aren't necessary when a simple milk jug can solve multiple irrigation challenges. Poke small holes throughout the bottom and lower sides of a clean gallon jug, then bury it partially next to thirsty plants like tomatoes or squash. Fill the jug with water, and it slowly seeps directly to the root zone, providing consistent deep watering while reducing surface evaporation. For above-ground watering, poke larger holes in the cap area to create a gentle showerhead, perfect for watering seedlings without disturbing delicate roots or washing away tiny seeds. Bird deterrent strategy with reflective materials. Protecting ripening berries and fruits from hungry birds requires strategy, not aggression. Old CDs, DVDs, or small mirrors hung throughout fruiting plants create moving light patterns that discourage birds without harming them. The reflective surfaces catch sunlight and create dancing rainbow patterns that birds find unsettling and unpredictable. Position these deterrents so they move freely in breezes, changing the light patterns frequently. This method works particularly well for protecting strawberry patches, blueberry bushes, and cherry trees during peak ripening season. Banana peel fertilizer for tomato success. Tomatoes are notorious potassium hogs, and banana peels provide this essential nutrient in a slow-release, organic form that plants can easily absorb. Bury fresh banana peels about 6 inches deep near the base of tomato plants, or chop them finely and work them into the soil around established plants. As the peels decompose, they release potassium, phosphorus, and calcium directly to the root zone, promoting stronger fruit development and better disease resistance. This technique also works wonderfully for roses, peppers, and other flowering plants that benefit from extra potassium during their productive phases. These time-tested hacks prove that effective gardening doesn't require expensive equipment or complicated techniques, just creative thinking and willingness to see potential in everyday items. Start implementing these strategies in your own garden and watch your plants thrive while your gardening becomes more efficient and enjoyable. Ready to transform your gardening game? Subscribe to Smart Garden for more genius tips that make gardening easier, more productive, and infinitely more rewarding. Share this guide with fellow gardeners who could use these game-changing hacks, and let's build a community of smarter, more successful gardeners together.